Start with a truth that might surprise you: you're not bad with money. The real problem isn't your habits or your partners, it's the system you're using. Most couples find themselves in the same frustrating cycle. You sit down to talk about money, and before you know it, the conversation turns tense. It's not about the Amazon package or the grocery bill. It's about fairness, respect, and who's carrying more of the load. If you've ever gone to bed with a knot in your stomach after a money talk, you're not alone. This isn't a sign of incompatibility or irresponsibility. It's a sign that you're using a rule book that was never written for two people with different incomes and habits. Picture this: you and your partner try to discuss finances, but it quickly spirals into the same old argument. Someone brings up a recent purchase, and suddenly you're not talking about money. You're talking about who does more, who earns more, and who sacrifices more. Nothing gets resolved, and you both pretend it didn't happen until the next time. This cycle is exhausting and leaves you feeling more like financial roommates than true partners. But here's the wild part: you're not fighting because you're incompatible. You're fighting because you're using a system that was never designed for two people. Maybe you've tried budgeting apps like Mint or YNAB. You set them up with good intentions, track every expense for a couple of weeks, and then stopped. Why? Because it felt like a second job and it never answered the real question: whose money is this exactly? Or maybe you tried joint accounts, tossing in some money with no clear rules. When one of you spends more than expected, the good vibes vanish. Or you split everything 50-50, but your incomes and spending habits aren't the same, so it just doesn't feel fair. These solutions keep failing because they were built for one person, not two. Here's the real issue: it's called shared cost dissonance. This is what happens when two people with different incomes, spending habits, and pay cycles try to manage shared expenses without a common framework. Imagine two people trying to row a boat together, one with a small paddle, one with a large one, and no instructions. You both want to move forward, but you end up going in circles, frustrated and blaming each other. It's not a relationship problem, it's a system problem. Shared cost dissonance quietly turns every purchase into a potential argument and makes you feel like you're drifting apart. Over time, shared cost dissonance shows up in subtle but powerful ways. Every purchase feels like an argument waiting to happen. You start hiding small things: a receipt, a package, a coffee, because the guilt isn't worth the conversation. You stop dreaming together because every big goal circles back to money, and money circles back to that same fight. You feel more like financial roommates than partners, and you start to wonder if this is just how it's always going to be. But it doesn't have to be this way. The answer isn't another app or a stricter spreadsheet. Traditional budgeting tools, apps, 50-50 splits, joint accounts, and spreadsheets, fail couples with different incomes because they were never designed for two people. A budgeting app tracks your spending, not both of yours. A spreadsheet organizes your categories but doesn't solve fairness. Even the envelope system assumes one brain, one wallet, one set of habits. None of these tools account for the reality of two people with different rhythms and relationships with money. That's why you keep ending up in the same arguments, no matter how hard you try. What actually works: not splitting everything equally, not merging all your money, and not tracking every transaction until you're exhausted. The answer is the asymmetrical balance system. Fairness in a relationship doesn't mean equal contribution, it means proportional contribution. This system gives you clear, pre-agreed rules for three types of money: what's ours, fixed shared bills; what's shared but flexible everyday costs; and what's mine, personal money, no questions asked. When you separate money by its job, the guilt and resentment disappear. Let's break down the three-bucket system. Bucket 1 is for fixed shared bills: rent, utilities, subscriptions, everything predictable and non-negotiable. Bucket 2 is for shared everyday costs like groceries, gas, and date nights, the variable stuff that causes most daily friction. Bucket 3 is for personal spending, yours with no guilt or questions. When money has a job, it stops being a weapon. This structure stops the "who pays for this" argument before it starts and gives each partner autonomy and clarity. One of the most important parts of this system is the personal money bucket. This is your money to spend however you want: no guilt, no explanations, no negotiations. It's non-negotiable and guilt-free. This means you never have to justify a coffee, a book, or a treat for yourself. You both get autonomy, and the system respects your individuality. This is the key to ending resentment and restoring trust. Even with the best system, life throws curveballs: unexpected dinners, repair bills, or purchases one of you wants but the other isn't sure about. The Calm Conversation Kit gives you pre-agreed rules for these moments. It's a simple traffic light checklist for everyday decisions, so you can make a call in under 60 seconds without turning it into a negotiation. For bigger purchases, there's a clear decision filter so conversations stay short, calm, and productive. No more "we need to talk about money" dread. Nicholas: and not long ago, my partner and I were having the same arguments you're having now. Every grocery run was a silent calculation. Every package felt like an accusation. We loved each other, but money made us feel like strangers. I tried everything the experts recommended: joint accounts, spreadsheets, budgeting apps, 50-50 splits. None of it worked, so I turned to research and built a system that finally worked for us. Within weeks, the arguments almost disappeared. Friends and family noticed the change and started using the system too, with the same results. Research in behavioral economics shows that couples don't fight about money, they fight about ambiguity. When there are no pre-agreed rules, every transaction becomes a negotiation, and negotiations under stress become arguments. Studies in the Journal of Family and Economic Issues found that financial conflict is triggered not by the amount of money, but by the absence of a shared framework. When people contribute based on their capacity, perceived fairness increases, resentment drops, and cooperation rises. This isn't just theory, it's proven science. That's why I created the Fair Share Framework, a step-by-step system that ends the "who pays for what" arguments and builds a fair financial partnership. This isn't another budgeting app or a spreadsheet you'll abandon. It's not a generic communication guide. The Fair Share Framework is purpose-built for couples with different incomes and spending habits who want to stop fighting and start feeling like a team again. You can set up the whole framework in a single afternoon. First pillar is the proportionate contribution calculator. This tool changes everything. You simply plug in both incomes and the calculator does the math. For the first time, you both see clearly and logically what a truly fair contribution looks like. Not 50-50, not whoever makes more pays more, but proportional and undeniable. No more resentment, no more scorekeeping, just a number you both agree on. Second pillar is the three-bucket system. Most couples fight because all their money lives in one undefined pile. The three-bucket system fixes this by separating money into fixed shared bills, shared everyday costs, and personal spending. Each bucket has clear rules and defined autonomy. When money has a job, it stops being a weapon. This structure brings clarity and peace to your finances. Third pillar is the calm conversation kit. Even with a great system, life happens. This kit gives you quick rules for daily spending and a decision filter for big purchases. It's a simple checklist for everyday decisions so you can make choices in under a minute, no drama, no negotiation. For bigger purchases, you have a clear process to keep conversations short, calm, and productive. No more dreading money talks. Imagine this, it's a Tuesday evening and one of you stops at the store on the way home. You pick up a few things, maybe even something just for yourself. There's no knot in your stomach, no rehearsing how to explain the receipt, no waiting to see if tonight will be one of those nights. The system already handled it. The money was in the right bucket and the rule was already agreed on. That's what life looks like when the financial tension is gone. You stop being roommates and start being partners again. Here, what you get with the Fair Share Framework: the complete step-by-step guide, the proportionate contribution calculator, and the calm conversation kit. That's $411 in real, practical tools, but today you're not paying $411 or even $297. During this launch window, you get everything for just $97. And if $97 all at once isn't right for you, there's a payment option, 2 easy payments of $52. Same system, same results, just more breathing room. Because I want you to have everything you need to stop the arguments and finally feel like a team, you get 3 powerful bonuses free when you get the Fair Share Framework today. Bonus 1, the No Budget Budget Tracker, simple, clear, and designed for couples. Bonus 2, the Values and Goals Alignment Guide, find your shared vision and stop pulling in opposite directions. Bonus 3, the 15-minute weekly money sync agenda, keep your check-ins short, calm, and productive. That's $508 in total value, all for just $97. Want you to feel completely safe trying this system. That's why the Fair Share Framework comes with the Financial Peace Ironclad Guarantee. Go through the framework together, use the calculator, and run your first money sync. If within 30 days you don't have a clear, agreed-upon plan that both of you feel is fair, or you haven't had at least one calm, productive money conversation, just send us an email. You'll get every penny back, no questions, no forms, no awkwardness. The only risk is doing nothing. This offer isn't permanent. The Values and Goals Alignment Guide, worth $97, is only available during this launch window. Once it closes, it's gone. And the personal email support from Nicholas is reserved for the first 100 founding members only. When those spots fill, they're gone. Every week you wait is another week of the same argument. You don't need more time to think, you need a system, and you need it now. At this point, you have 3 paths. Path 1, do nothing and keep having the same arguments, feeling like roommates instead of partners. Path 2, try to figure it out yourself, test more apps, build more spreadsheets, and have more let's just try this conversations. Path 3, get the Fair Share Framework today. In a single afternoon, you'll have a system built for couples like you with 3 clear buckets and fair shares based on real income. The choice isn't hard, it just requires a decision. You didn't come this far in your relationship to let money be the thing that breaks it. You're not bad with money or incompatible, you just never had the right system. The Fair Share Framework gives you a proportional contribution model, personal spending boundaries, and simple rules that turn every money conversation from a potential fight into a 5-minute check-in. Within 30 days, you could stop feeling like financial roommates and start feeling like a team again. Click the button below and get instant access to everything, fully backed by the Financial Peace Ironclad Guarantee.